This just in. President Trump has signed an executive order that would have new tariffs go into effect on a wide group of U.S. trading partners in 7 days. Good evening, and thanks so much for joining us. I'm Marcella Lee. The president also said he is raising the tariff rate on Canada because of Canada's inaction for stopping the flow of fentanyl into the U.S. These announcement comes just hours before some of President Trump's tariff hikes take effect. That's August 1st. CBS 8's Abby Black joins us live with what to expect when these new prices kick in at 9 p.m. Abby?
Marcella, this is a very fluid situation. Just in the late night, just in the last few hours and few moments, the White House released a statement issuing these orders by President Trump and some of these tariffs that we're going to see that have been extended until August 7th. But these are some very high tariffs that we're talking about. Some of the highest we're seeing in Syria at 41%. Switzerland to export goods here will be a tariff at 39%. These are huge, and especially when he's talking about Canada. He issued an executive order to export goods here to America. It's going to cost be a 35% tariff, and we're going to get into that to see how this will impact our consumers. But I'm here outside of a gas station, and while we're not seeing these direct impacts on our gas prices now, consumers will see them when we're talking about infrastructure, construction as well. Now, the uncertainty is already driving up costs. One deal that is locked in, a 15% tariff on European goods.
As part of this agreement, the EU will purchase $750 billion in U.S. energy to strengthen our energy dominance, reduce European reliance on adversarial sources, and narrow our trade deficit with the EU.
This EU deal is lower than Trump threatened, but still much higher than before, hitting pharmaceuticals and car parts. Speaking of cars, fixing your vehicle is getting expensive. New tariffs on South Korea, Europe, and Japan and China mean higher repair costs and longer waits for parts. Construction costs are surging too. We're talking about steel and aluminum tariffs have doubled. About a third of building materials come from other countries, and Canadian lumber tariffs could jump to 35%. We spoke to Maura Monahan, a local shopper who's taking a wait-and-see approach.
I'm not going to rush into anything. We need change. We needed things to happen, so we'll see what this brings, and if they're wheeling and dealing and getting things right.
As we talked about for gas prices, analysts don't see a direct hit at the pump yet, but energy infrastructure costs will likely get passed to consumers. Now, Federal Chair Powell cited that this tariff uncertainty as a reason to hold interest rates steady. Mexico got a 90-day extension, but China's deadline is still looming. Again, when we're talking about the federal chair who's taking this uncertainty, I spoke to a local global policy expert at UC San Diego, and she says that's the biggest damaging part of these tariffs that have not been worked out yet, is this uncertainty. And when you don't have the rates that are being adjusted at the moment, they're trying to do this wait and see. A lot of investors are just sitting on their hands waiting to see what will happen, so you don't have as many people investing and buying right now.
A lot of people, too, just everyday people worried about those prices going up for so many goods. Abby, I know you talked to a construction worker today, and he says they are already seeing an impact there.
Right. You know, I asked him, I thought, well, what about the price of lumber and trying to build a home? He says he's just seeing it, down when we're talking kind of about pennies. They're seeing that big impact when they're talking about those N95 masks that construction workers need to wear to keep safe. He says that they used to cost about $10. Now the box of them is about $20. And we're thinking about, he used to be able to buy a case. Now he's just kind of having to buy them as they go to see what the prices are like. So when you're thinking about that, those what may seem like a big or a small item are making a big impact on budgets.
For things that people use every day, those pennies can add up into dollars pretty quickly. Thanks so much, Abby, for the latest on that.